Chapter 14 from the second volume of Krishna book. Narad visit the different homes of Lord Sri Krishna. So I'll read one more paragraph. Different houses. Narad Muni witnessed different activities. So Naradji knew everything about the pastime of the Lord. So without any further discussion, he simply left the palace silently. Activities. He then entered another palace, and this time Naradji saw that Lord Krishna was engaged as an affectionate father petting his small children. From there he entered another palace and saw Lord Krishna preparing to take his bath. In this way, Saint Narad entered each and every one of the 16,000 residential palaces of the Queen of Lord Krishna. And in each of them, he found Krishna engaged in different ways simultaneously. So we will continue. In one place, he found Krishna engaged in offering oblations to the sacrificial fire and performing the ritualistic ceremony of the Vedas as enjoyed for householders. Excuse me. In another palace, Krishna was found performing the Panchayagna sacrifice, which is compulsory for a householder. This yagna is also known as Panchasuna. Knowingly or unknowingly, everyone, specifically the householder, is committing 5 kinds of sinful activities. And when we receive water from a water pitcher, we kill many germs that are in it. Similarly, when we use a grinding machine or take footstep, we kill many germs. When sweeping a floor or igniting a fire, we kill many germs. And what we walk on the street, we kill many ants and other insects. Consequently, or unconsciously, in all different activities, we are definitely killing. Therefore, it is incumbent upon every householder to perform the Panchasuna sacrifice to rid himself of the reaction to such sinful activities. In one palace, Lord Krishna was found engaged in feeding brahmanas after performing ritualistic yagnas. In another palace, Narada found Krishna engaged in silently chanting the Gayatri mantra. And in a third, he found him practicing fighting with a sword and a sail. In some palaces, Lord Krishna was found riding on a horse or elephant or chariot and wandering hither and thither. Elsewhere, he was found lying down on his bedstead taking rest. And somewhere else, he was found sitting in his chair, being praised by the prayer of his different devotees. In some of the palaces, he was found consulting with ministers like Uddhava and others on important matters of business. In one palace, he was found surrounded by many young society girls, enjoying in a swimming pool. In another palace, he was found engaged in giving well-decorated cows in charity to the brahmanas. And in other place, he was found hearing the narration of the Puranas or histories, such as Mahabharata, which are supplementary literature for disseminating Vedic knowledge to common people by narrating important instances in the history of the universe. Somewhere, Lord Krishna was found enjoying the company of a particular wife by exchanging joking words with her. Somewhere else, he was found engaged along with his wife in religious ritualistic functions. Since it is necessary for householders to increase their financial asset for various expenditures, Krishna was found somewhere engaged in matters of economic development. Somewhere else, he was found enjoying family life according to the regulatory principle of the Shastras. In one palace, he was found sitting in a meditation as if he were concentrating his mind on the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is beyond these material universes. Meditation, as recommended in authorized scriptures, is meant for concentrating one's mind on the Supreme Personality of Godhead Vishnu. So Lord Krishna, he himself is the original Vishnu. But because he played the part of a human being, he taught us definitely by his personal behavior what is meant by meditation. Somewhere Lord Krishna was found satisfying elderly superiors by supplying them things which they needed. Somewhere else, Naradji found the Lord Krishna was engaged in discussing topics of fighting, and somewhere else in making peace with the enemies. Somewhere Lord Krishna was found discussing the ultimate auspicious activity for the entire human society with his elder brother Lord Balram. Narada saw Lord Krishna engaged in getting his sons and daughters married with suitable brides and bridegrooms. In due course of time, and the marriage ceremonies were being performed with great pomp. In one palace, he was found bidding farewell to his daughters, and in another, he was found receiving a daughter-in-law. People throughout the whole city were astonished to see such pomp and ceremonies. Somewhere the Lord was seen engaged in performing different type of sacrifice to satisfy the demigods, who are only his qualitative expansions. Somewhere he was seen engaged in public welfare activities, establishing deep wells for water supply, rest houses, and garden for unknown guests, and great monasteries and temples for saintly persons. These are some of the duties enjoined in the Vedas for householder for fulfillment of their material desire. Somewhere, Krishna was found as a Kshatriya king, engaged in hunting animals in the forest and riding on very beautiful Sindhi horses. According to Vedic regulations, the Kshatriyas were allowed to kill prescribed animal on certain occasions, either to maintain peace in the forest or to offer the animal in the sacrificial fire. Kshatriyas are allowed to practice this killing art because they have to kill their enemies mercilessly to maintain peace in society. In one situation, the great sage Narada saw Lord Krishna, the Supreme Personality Godhead and Master of the mystic powers, acting as a spy by changing his usual dress in order to understand the motives of different citizens in the city and within the palaces. Saint Narada saw all this activity of the Lord who is the super soul of all living entities, but who played the role of an ordinary human being in order to manifest this activity of his internal potency. He was smiling within himself and began to address the Lord as follows. Quote, "My dear Lord of all mystic powers, object of the meditation of great mystics, the extent of your mystic power is certainly inconceivable, even to mystic like Lord Brahma and Lord Shiva. But by your mercy, because of my being always engaged in the transcendental loving service of your lotus feet, your Lordship has very kindly revealed to me the actions of your internal potency. My dear Lord, you are worshipable by all, and demigods and predominating deities of all 14 planetary systems are completely aware of your transcendental fame. Now, please give me your blessings so that I may be able to travel all over the universes, singing the glories of your transcendental activities." So the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Sri Krishna, replied to Narad Muni as follows. Quote, "My dear Narad, O sage among the demigods, you know that I am the supreme instructor and perfect follower of all religious principles, as well as the supreme enforcer of such principles. I am therefore personally executing such a religious principle in order to teach the whole world how to act. My dear son, it is my desire that you not be bewildered by such demonstrations of my internal energy." The Supreme Personality of Godhead was engaged in his so-called household affairs in order to teach people how one can sanctify one household life, although he may be attached to the imprisonment of material existence. Actually, one is obliged to continue the term of material existence because of household life. But the Lord, being very kind upon householders, demonstrated the path of sanctified ordinary household life. Because Krishna is the center of all activities, a Krishna conscious householder's life is transcendental to Vedic injunctions and is automatically sanctified. So thus Narad saw one single Krishna living in 16,000 palaces by his plenary expansions. And due to his inconceivable energy, he was visible in each and every individual queen's palace. Lord Krishna has unlimited power, and Narada's astonishment was boundless upon observing again and again the demonstration of Lord Krishna's internal energy. Lord Krishna behaved by his personal example as if he were very much attached to the four principles of civilized life, namely religiousness, economic development, sense gratification, and salvation. These four principles of material existence are necessary for the spiritual advancement of human society. And although Lord Krishna had no need to do so, he exhibited his household activity so that people might follow in his footsteps for their own interest. Lord Krishna satisfied the sage Narada in every way. And Narad was very much pleased by seeing the Lord's activity in Dwarka, and thus he departed. So, in narrating the activity of Lord Krishna in Dwarka, Shukadev Goswami explained to King Parikshit how Lord Krishna, the Supreme Personality Godhead, descend on this material universe by the agency of his internal potency and personally exhibit the principle which, if followed, can lead one to achieve the ultimate goal of life. All the queens in Dwarka, more than 16,000 in number, engaged their feminine attractive future in the transcendental service of the Lord by smiling and serving. And the Lord was pleased to behave with them exactly as a perfect husband enjoying household life. One should note definitely that such pastimes cannot be performed by anyone but Lord Sri Krishna. Lord Sri Krishna is the original cause of the creation, maintenance, and dissolutions of the whole cosmic manifestation. Anyone who attentively hears the narration of the Lord's pastime in Dwarka or supports a preacher of the Krishna consciousness movement will certainly find it very easy to traverse the path of liberation and taste the nectar of the lotus feet of Lord Sri Krishna. And thus, he will be engaged in his devotional service. Thus ends the Bhaktivedanta purport of the second volume, 14th chapter of Krishna. The great sage Narad visit the different homes of Lord Krishna. Now we will be embarking on chapter 15, which is Lord Krishna's daily activities. I think it's 6:54, huh? So I think we should stop here, and the devotee has to do other activities they can do. And the devotee who would like to stay behind and chant some more. Today is the Independence Day, and I think we should try our best to become completely dependent on Krishna and then ultimately become independent from the influence of the external energy of Krishna. So with those thoughts, always remain happy, jubilant, and totally fearless. And whoever you come across, give them a kind word that their life also becomes successful and fearless. So with those, I would like to offer my humble obeisances at the desk of these wonderful devotees who take austerity to join from Houston, from New Hampshire, Aurora, Illinois, New York, New Jersey, Virginia, Boston, Boise, Atlanta, Phoenix, Tempe, Austin, College Station, San Jose, Portland, Dallas, Detroit, Chicago, Naperville, Philadelphia, Charlotte, Baltimore, Baton Rouge, Alachua, Orlando, Sanford, Jacksonville, Loganville, Georgia, Maine, Ottawa, Toronto, Pondicherry, and Pickering near Toronto. Haribol. Vanchakalpatarubhasya kripa sindhubhaya vacha patitanam pavane